let's talk about service dogs. This is my service dog. Her name is Iris. Iris, would you please stop squeaking the toy? Her name is Iris. And service dogs won't always, she's off duty right now. Service dogs won't always be at work when you see them. They are allowed to have free time and just play and just be dogs. Because that's what they are in the end, is dogs. And they should be allowed to have time to play. Release? I'm here to clear up some misconceptions about service dogs. Many people have seen them in stores or amusement parks, and there's a lot of misconceptions about service dogs. So first of all, what is a service dog? A service dog, as defined by the ADA, is a dog that is individually trained to do work or perform tasks to help mitigate a person's disability. Here she comes. Did you lose your toy? So some things in that is service dogs are trained. They're specifically trained to do tasks. Tasks could be leading the blind or alerting someone who is deaf to sounds around them that are important. Or that could also be things that are less known about, like alerting to seizures or calming a person with PTSD. But another part of that is that you have to have a disability to have a service dog. They are specifically to help with disabilities. Many people don't know exactly, they get disorders and disabilities mixed up. A disorder is a disorder, a problem that you have, while a disability, it can be a disorder, but it's something that stops one or more major life functions. So, without Iris, I couldn't go to school anymore because of my disability keeping me from doing that. One thing you should never do is ask a person with a service dog why they have their service dog. It's just generally impolite, and they may not be comfortable sharing that with just anyone. That is their medical history, and it's theirs to keep to themselves if they want to. But I have my service dog. I'm sharing this just for the people who are curious. I have her for PTSD and anxiety seizures and a few other things that she helps me with. And something that people also get mixed up is service dogs and support animals. There's a major difference between service dogs and emotional support animals. Service dogs are trained. They're trained to do tasks that are specific, and they have public access, which means that they can go out into public places that don't allow dogs with their owners. And emotional support animals don't have that right. Emotional support animals have fair housing, which means they can live in non-pet housing, and they have the Air Carrier Act, which allows them to fly with their owners. But they don't have public access to go into stores and things with their owners the same way that service dogs do. And many people get that mixed up, and many people take their emotional support animals many people take their emotional support animals into stores thinking that they can do that, and then what happens is a emotional support animal, whatever it may be, because service dogs are dogs. There are no other service animals besides dogs as of the ADA in 2010. But An emotional support animal can be any animal. It could be a duck, a snake, a dog, a cat, whatever it is. Any animal you can think of, it can be an emotional support animal. The requirement for an emotional support animal is to have a doctor's note to have that emotional support animal. It has to be referred by a doctor, a currently treating doctor, that is treating the person who they write the letter for. A service dog is a little bit more complicated. There are many things like the Service Dog Registry of America and things like that, but that's just a scam. There is no official registration under the ADA. The ADA is the Americans with Disabilities Act. I'm sorry if I forgot to tell you that. But there are many different registrations and things like that, but they're just trying to scam you out of money, and they're misinforming people. The only requirement for a service dog is to be trained, and they can only be kicked out of a place if they are a danger to people there, or they say like they're just generally out of control and their owner is not taking action to stop it. Iris. Good girl. This is one of Iris's tasks. It's a deep pressure therapy. What she does is she puts her weight on either my legs or my chest. It just depends on how I'm sitting. Iris, free, go. She does that to calm me down in, say, a panic attack or a flashback or whatever it is. But service dogs are just great. Many people take their pets into stores and places and claim they're service dogs, and that is so dangerous for people with real service dogs, because a pet, when taken into a store, service dogs train all their lives and know how to handle themselves in stores and things like that. Iris, would you stay upright, please? They know how to handle themselves out in public, while a pet doesn't have that experience and that training. So what happens is a pet will get overwhelmed and say they see a real service dog and they could attack that service dog. And just so you know, she's not biting me. This is just how we play sometimes. Grrr. And say if she has a hold of me, I can say release, and she immediately lets go. That's something I think is important for me to tell people, because people think she's biting me, and it's just how we play. She's not even holding on to me tight. But what was I gonna say? Iris. But yeah, when people take their pets out into public, the pets will get overwhelmed and attack out of fear. And sometimes what they attack ends up being a service dog. And if a service dog gets attacked, they could wash, which means they can no longer be a service dog. Dog team. I probably forgot to say something, but with all that, as to not go over the time limit, I have written a poem, and I would like to share it with you. Here it is. Service dogs are lifesavers for many like me. Mine saved me a meltdown, or maybe 2 or 3. Service dogs do many things, from seizure repellent to mobility aids, but some people think they're just for play nowadays. Some people take their pets into stores, claiming they are service dogs more and more and more, but this is very dangerous for people like me, because if a service dog gets attacked, it could be over, you see. Service dogs go through training for years, learning good manners right up to their ears. If a service dog gets attacked and becomes quite afraid, they may no longer be a good mobility aid, or whatever they may be. They're very expensive, and their owner may not afford another, you see. Service dogs aren't just for comfort or play. They do special tasks their owners need every day. from warning of seizures to helping take out the trash, I know service dogs will always have our backs. Service dogs are trained from the time they are pups, how to handle themselves during life with us. Pets are not trained to do this, you see, so they may just attack my service dog or me. Service dogs help with many disabilities, but you have to have a disability to have one, you see. Having a service dog is a whole lot of work, and it's not always easy despite what you've heard. I would prefer to do things on my own, but without my service dog, I'd be stuck right at home. So please don't tell me how you think I'm lucky. I deal with so much you don't even see. Not everyone likes my service dog and me. I just sneeze. Some restaurants try to make us go away to eat, but we have to stand up for ourselves on all our 6 feet. Service dogs are more amazing than gold, and they help people with disabilities young and old. So please help me spread the information and love by looking up service dogs on ada.gov. Thank you for watching.